Buenos dias, guys. Today I have some fishy recipes for you, and I'm joined by my friend Robin, who's gonna give me a hand with them. So hi, Robin.
How's it going? All right?
Yes, very well. I'm looking forward to you cooking up something.
Yeah. So am I. I'm quite hungry, so we'll see how today goes.
So am I, and I love fish recipes.
So do I.
So today I have some clams.
Okay.
For starters. I'm going to make it a bit different this time. I'm going to add some ham, some red wine to them. Usually the simplest recipes are the best, but I've tweaked it a little bit. And you've got some fishy main course for me, no?
Yeah, it's fideos a la Robin, I like to call it. They're not really mine, but I've just given it my name just for today.
Just for the sake.
Yeah, I've only practiced it 3 or 4 times, so we'll see how it comes out.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that, and then we can chit chat a bit more about your skills in the kitchen.
Sounds good.
So, and for dessert, I am making a carrot cake. Now, because I know you're diabetic,
yeah,
I'm going to try and make it without sugar.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's just give me a challenge, that's all. So instead of sugar, I'm going to try and have a little bit of an alternative, because I know that you can have a bit of honey.
Yeah, a bit of honey's fine.
We're going to do it with a bit of honey instead.
Nice one, cool.
All right, so I think we should get started with the clams.
No time like the present.
Yeah. First up, I'm cooking some quick and easy clams with a twist on the traditional recipe. Well, first thing we need to do is chop up a shallot,
Yep.
so a little onion and a garlic. So I'm gonna give you the garlic to do, so you can chop that down for me. The idea is to just get these really, really small, because we're gonna basically have it as part of the sauce when you get the almeja, not the clam.
All right. I'm an extremely careful cutter.
I've heard,
so
no, you take your time.
I tend to take quite a while.
So do you cook at home or no? Are you the master
Yeah,
in the kitchen?
I live with my partner. We split the cooking about 50-50. I'd say I'm probably the better cook, but she might disagree with me.
I'll have to ask her later. So have you had almejas before?
Plenty, not with jamón serrano and wine and all that.
I quite like this dish because the ham has its own distinct flavour, and the clams are quite strong anyway.
Yeah.
So I love that when you add this in there, the ham sort of melts into it as well. So it gives it quite a strong flavour, but it gives it a bit more bite as well.
I'm excited.
You know, me too. So I've poured a bit of oil in the pan.
Okay.
Now we're gonna just heat up the garlic and the onion, or the shallot. When I put the shallots in there, I'm gonna chop these down even more, because I need these to be like almost non-existent.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. You don't really want to like take a bite into a large bit of garlic on this. You want it to just almost invisible.
Okay.
Have you made more fish recipes sort of like this almejas before?
As sort of elaborate as this one, not really, but I'm a massive fish food fan. So I've made tuna steak plenty, and more simple sort of dishes
Vale.
with chips, with whatever, but nothing quite like this, no.
I know that you sort of train, or you're very sporty.
I'm quite active, yeah.
So is this sort of something that you would add into your diet, or more like meat is sort of what you're
To be honest, as active as I am, I'm quite indisciplined, you could say, with my diet and stuff. So, as you can probably tell.
No.
But yeah, at home we have the heavier meals like the one I'm gonna make today, and some lighter meals when Amy fancies having a go. She tends to make the healthier, lighter, cleaner meals.
So the onion and the garlic are now sort of translucent. They're cooking away. Can you help me with the ham, please?
Yeah.
At this point, I'm going to add the ham so that it cooks a little bit.
Do you want me to just chuck it in?
Just chuck it in there. Very good. Gartiene, man.
I know.
Thanks.
I do try.
So this now will sort of melt. The fat will melt from it, which would be really nice for like a sauce. But this I'm going to add red wine to, and decorate it with some parsley as well for seasoning. And because we've already used it in almost every other recipe in the program, we're going to add some paprika as well.
Okay.
Because sweet paprika just gives it that little
go-to
kick and that
spice,
touch.
yeah.
I think so. It's sort of very, very Mediterranean, sort of. It's almost.
Whenever I use paprika, I always tend to put too much, and it's quite overpowering.
If you use too much, yeah, I'm going to add like a teaspoon in this case. And in the past, I made it with honey. Like,
Okay.
just it gives it a little bit of sweetness. But which is what I wanted to ask you. Do you find that it's quite difficult, especially when you travel a lot because of the sports? You're commentating on the football. Do you find it quite hard for your diet, sort of, to find your meals?
No, to be honest, my diet isn't, being a diabetic doesn't mean your diet is that strict either. It means you can't have sort of instant sugar, for instance, a can of Coke. But as far as your 3 meals a day go, it's fairly straightforward. You pretty much 9 times out of 10 eat what anybody else would. So
just keep an eye on it. I
yeah,
guess,
you just keep kind of a keener eye on yourself, what you're having and stuff. But really, it's fine. That's looking really nice, Justin.
It smells really good. That you can sort of now. Really, it's getting me really hungry now.
When you told me that you were going to make this as a starter, it sounded a little bit complicated for me, but it's actually quite simple.
There's not really much to it. The most that you need to fry is the onions.
Yeah.
And now I need to add in the clams, please, which I've soaked in water because they will open up. Any sand they have inside will come out.
Yeah. So in go the clams.
The clams are going to go in here. And now we need to leave these to steam.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is add in a bit of red wine, and I'm going to cover it. And we need to leave these to steam. It's only going to take maybe like 5-10 minutes until they all open up, and the meat's going to cook inside the clams. And we'll check on it again, and then add the final little touches to it.
Yeah.
Very good. We've been stewing this away for like 5-10 minutes now, so I think it's time for us to have a look because it smells amazing.
It does, yeah.
Maybe a bit of a shake. Yeah. Wow.
Is that what you were expecting?
That is what I was expecting. It's all opened up. The color is sort of quite dark. I'm going to add a little bit more wine to this. I don't want to add too much either because the wine can be quite powerful. Can I ask you to sprinkle in a bit of the paprika in there for me?
Just a bit, no?
Just a bit, about a teaspoon more or less. That's going to add a bit more flavor to this and a bit of color as well. But I'm not going to season this with salt. You can add some pepper, but I'm not going to add any salt because the Spanish ham is already going to make it quite salty.
Good thinking.
Yeah, and that is pretty much it. I'm going to get some parsley. So just chop this up really tightly. Just a sprinkling on top. Shall we grab it and try this?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay. Right, so nice.
9 out of 10.
No, just a 9 number.
Oh, it is really nice, huh?
If you want some more sauce, you can always add a bit more oil, a bit more red wine to this. Or
And
top
you're right
it up
about
with
the saltiness as well. It's already plenty.
There's definitely no need for extra salt in here. Some pepper wouldn't go amiss, but we can finish this off.
Okay.
And then you're going to get me started with the main course. The
Let's
fideos alla Robin. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Oh my God. It's Robin's time to shine as he cooks up his all-time favourite, fideos alla Robin. Are you as curious as I am? Robin, how were those amejas then?
Really, really nice.
I think it's time that you give me a bit of a show and show me how you make your main course. Fideos alla Robin.
Fideos alla Robin, round 2. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so step 1, we grab 2 garlics.
Okay.
And I would usually say half an onion, but usually I'd cook for 2. So we're going big, we're gonna go with a full onion.
Okay.
All right, so if you cut
All
the
out.
onion, as was the case with your starter, it's not really my thing, but the garlics need to be as small as possible. I quite like to feel the crunch of a garlic. I like my garlic chunks a little bit bigger, but whatever.
No judgment.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a really, really good feeling about this one already at step 1. It's all going to plan.
Good.
The garlics are cut.
I'm cutting this quite chunky. I think.
Yeah, that's fine. What we should probably do actually is get some oil.
Some
Some
oil
oil going there, like a shallow pool of oil, and in go the onions and the garlic.
But you've done this. You practiced 4 times.
5 times in total.
Vale.
The first time I think it was maybe a case of like beginner's luck because it came out really well, and I thought like, you know, how's this happened? Then the second and third time was a little bit.
What's the worst that happened?
The thing is, the last step is the tuna, or in this case the monkfish.
Yeah.
I think it is. But it cooks so quickly. Within a couple of minutes, it's done. So it's very easy to overdo the fish, basically, and especially after cooking for like half an hour, it's, you know what I mean.
Yeah, disappointing. Shall I add this straight in there as well?
Chuck them in.
The whole thing.
So the onions and the garlics have had 2-3 minutes to get nice and soft. We want to get the peppers in. Just 1 green pepper will do.
1 green pepper, vale.
Yeah, nice and quick. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, this is now really the decisive moment in the whole dish. You need to let the peppers get really nice and soft. The tomatoes next. We'll go with 2 medium-sized tomatoes.
Okay.
So you really just want to wait for it to become a nice sort of pulp, nice and gooey, and it does take the peppers a while to get to that stage.
Is that all right? No?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's like I said, it's going to turn into a bit of a mush soon anyway. So, okay, so the peppers are now nice and soft. Next are the 2 medium-sized tomatoes. Chuck them all in, and again, just a case of stirring until it's all nice.
So we're making a refrito basically.
For now, yeah, I did this dish last night just to give it one last practice. And this is twice the amount of tomatoes as I used last night, so it doesn't really matter as for amounts of everything with tomatoes.
The most thing is going to happen is going to be a bit more watery, but that you just leave it to stew a bit longer for it to reduce.
Right.
But we can see once we add the fish, because you've told me before that you usually add marrajo, no? Which is like a sort of maybe shark sort of thing.
Usually I would use marrajo. Any white fish will do though.
Vale.
Last night I used tuna, and it was like really nice, if I may say so myself.
Not white fish, the darkest type, but yeah.
But,
Tuna has its own distinct taste anyway, so
yeah.
in a stew would be lovely.
Yeah, exactly. That looks good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Justin, fast forward 10 minutes or so. Now, as you can see, the tomato has turned into a pulp, pretty much, just what we wanted. In goes the fish stock. That's 1 fish stock split into 4.
Just dry as it is, we don't have to dissolve it first.
Nope, just straight in, keep stirring. And then, for me, this is what gives the dish like its signature touch. Colorante alimentario, saffron,
Vale.
I think it is.
See, more or less. It's all
And with this, just keep going, and when you think you've chucked in enough, chuck in a little bit more. That's how I tend to roll in the kitchen.
You want this nuclear, no?
So like it gives it like, it should look like you've got too much in there, but you haven't.
Right.
So yeah, the colorante is now in. As you can see, it's already turning sort of orangey yellow, which is good. Next, we want to chuck in about 2 pints worth of cold water. Okay, and if we turn it up to maybe just up a little bit to 7, just to speed things along.
So you want this to simmer, no?
Now we just want it to start simmering, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll cover it. Nice.
So we'll leave our pot bubbling away. Now join us in part 2, where Robin gives his finishing touches to his fideos. We're back, so let's see how our fideos are doing. Take it away, Robin.
Fast forward 10 minutes or so again. This is now simmering on medium heat again.
Yeah.
Time for the fideos. I tend to use the red packet gallo numero 4, about 2/3. As for weight, I'm not really sure what that is in weight, but it's this much. Okay. So we'll just chuck that in. So it's kind of like 3 handfuls.
More or less. See, because it's mostly like a handful per person.
Yeah, exactly.
What I tend to go for.
There's obviously the marrajo and the potatoes as well to add, so a handful of fideos per person, like you said, sounds about right. So we'll give that a stir and then cover again.
So, Robin, I can see that you're cutting the potatoes quite thinly there.
Yeah, you want to try and keep them as thin as possible. Estilo patata a lo pobre.
Yeah.
Just so that because they don't spend long in there at all, so just to give them the best chance of cooking through, really. The first few times I made this dish, I made the mistake of cutting them too thick, and just...
They won't cook in time.
No, you can imagine.
We're going to add these about 15 minutes, 20 minutes before this finishes.
We're adding the potatoes as thinly sliced as possible, 10 minutes after you put the fideos in, which is about now. In about 5 minutes time, the fish, and then 5 minutes after that should be the finished article.
Should be, we'll check.
Yeah.
I'm going the other way, it doesn't splash on me.
I feel like you don't trust me in the kitchen, Justin. I don't blame you.
No say.
So in they go.
Yeah, it's quite a hefty dish.
It's a hefty dish.
Yeah, it's quite a lot in there.
I'm a hefty guy.
Robin, looks like it's reduced a poquito ya.
Yeah, so I think it's time for the yerba buena,
Yeah.
which is really what really gives the dish the X factor.
That final oomph that you need, that little bit of extra
Exactly.
flavour, no?
And then we should get cutting the fish, just like I said before, any white fish or tuna will do.
Yeah.
Cut them into chunks and chuck them in. The thing about this is that it cooks so quickly that you need to be really careful not to overdo it, because 2-3 minutes is usually enough. And goes the yerba buena. So the last step of the dish is to get the fish in with the rest of it.
Vale.
Like I just mentioned, it cooks very quickly in a few minutes. The fish is already turning white, so you need to be really careful. Keep it on a medium heat, just so as not to risk overdoing it.
This is why it's important to get a tough fish for this, because otherwise anything like sort of cod and stuff like that would just flake and fall apart in here, no?
Yeah, just adding a bit of salt.
Robbie, ¿qué te parece? What do you think?
It looks really good. I've probably added a little bit too much colorante. It's oranger than usual, but as for the taste, I'm expecting it to be as nice as always.
Good, well.
So you need to get some fish and some of the potatoes as well, as much as possible, really.
Yeah, I think that's good, no?
Venga.
That's really nice.
That's really good.
Yeah, really nice.
Yes, I'm really happy about that.
Good, I'm happy about it. It came out a success. Well, we can finish off this plate. You're going to eat it all on your own with this plate. And I think we should get some with dessert, because I want to do that cake.
Sounds good, yeah. Let's get to it.
All right. Now, carrot cake is an absolute classic, and I'm going to give it a subtle twist to make this treat a little bit more diabetic friendly. Cake time, Robin. Cake time. So I'm going to make carrot cake. I've grated 4 carrots in advance.
Okay.
Just to save a bit of time, because all we have to do is just basically grate them. So to start with the base, it's sort of simple as usual. So we're going to sift a bit of flour into the bowl. Let's see. We're going to sift it to get a bit of air in there and make it a bit lighter. It's 4 eggs.
Cracking eggs has never really been my forte, but I think this one looks alright.
All right, well done. And then I'm not going to use butter for this, so instead I'm going to use the equivalent of more or less of what I would use of butter, but olive oil. So I'm going to mix that in the cake mixer.
Is this like a healthy version of a carrot cake?
It's a little bit healthier. I've started to now change my cakes. Instead of using butter, I use oil. So I find that it comes out a bit lighter as well.
Okay.
A bit more moisture. But usually now, this is the point where I add sugar. I'm going to add honey instead.
Okay.
So I'm going to add in about a tablespoon or 2 of honey, because I tend to add 100 grams more or less of sugar, but I don't want this to be too sweet this time. And it'll be a bit friendlier for diabetics, I hope. No? More or less?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that'll
Too much?
That'll be alright.
Because the carrots anyway are quite sweet. Carrots, when you cook them, they tend to sweeten up a bit. At this point, we need to add in the carrots. So can you pour in the carrots in there for me? And I'm going to add in a teaspoon of the spices as well.
Just a teaspoon?
Yeah. So it's a teaspoon of mixed spice and a teaspoon of cinnamon.
All of it, no?
All of it. If the mixture, you can see that it's a bit too dry, because if you do it with sugar, it's a bit too dry, the carrots anyway are going to loosen up, are going to release some water. And finally, to give this just that bit of a zing, I'm going to add in lemon. Have you baked with lemon before? Have you baked anything before?
Not really. I can't say I have, no.
I'm not a baker. Okay, so this is almost done. Now the last bit we need to add in are the crushed walnuts. Now I bought some just from the shop already cut. So these are more or less like halves. I just need to like really break them down. So you can help me. So just crush them in your hand. That's going to be about 100 grams of them. Going to go in there, which is the whole packet that you tend to buy in the shop.
Okay.
I will give this a last final mix. Now this is going to go into the oven at 170 for at least, I think, 40 minutes or so. And once it's almost ready, we can prepare the icing. Right, Robin, this is ready. So I'm just going to take this out of here.
Just off camera, you said you didn't expect it to look like that. We're hoping...
Well, I think it's got a bit of air in the middle, so it's sort of cracked a bit around the side. But it's fine anyway. It's rustic. Rustic, that's what it is. It's casera. That's how I like it. So yeah, it's fine. It looks
really good.
Looks good anyway. So we're going to let this cool down a little bit. In the meantime, we're going to prepare the icing. So if you can pass me that bowl, please. So it's just going to be 200 grams of mascarpone cheese, so cream cheese, which we're going to add in there. I'm going to add in about a teaspoon of vanilla as well, and a bit of lemon juice.
Okay.
Just to give it a little bit more flavour, otherwise the cheese is just going to be cheese. So just a bit. And basically just mix this up. Now if anyone wanted to do this the traditional way, they add in a few hundred grams of icing sugar as well. This basically is going to be the topping for the cake.
I can't wait.
So let's do this. Let's give this a bit of a topping. Because it's a bit warm, the cheese is going to melt. So preferably leave this to cool down completely. Sorry, let your artistic flair come out there, Robin.
Just let the hand free.
So shall we cut this up?
Yep.
A little taste.
Venga.
Come on. What about I say?
That's pretty good.
It's okay with that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's best if it cools down un poquito. It's nice and moist as well. And, I mean, ideally the cheese wouldn't melt because it would be cold, but it doesn't matter. In this case, it still tastes quite nice.
It makes it look even better though with the melting cheese off the side.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
But no, well, thank you very much
No
for joining
problem.
me. I mean, the
Good one.
fish was amazing.
Thank you.
And I think we've sorted out a very nice menu.
Three
Okay.
very nice courses, no?
That's it. So get practicing because I'm going to come over and try some more.
I will do.
Thank you very much for joining me at home. And if you want to find all these recipes, they're on mamalotties.com. If you make anything, send me a photo on Facebook or Twitter and I'll see it. I love to see what you've made. And don't forget, my new cookbook is out with all of these recipes and more. So go check it out. It's 100 everyday recipes. And I'll see you next week. If you want to catch up with all the recipes and ingredients for today's dishes, head over to mamalotties.com. See you next week.